What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Xtra Innings Podcast. Your host, Elijah. Today is October 9th, and it's a sad day. It's an exciting day, depending on who you're rooting for. For me personally, if you follow my socials, it's a sad day. And if you've been following the podcast, you know that I am a Yankee fan and a Diamondbacks fan. Obviously, the Diamondbacks didn't make it to the postseason, but the Yankees did. The Yankees did, though their season is over. It ended last night. Toronto finally put the dagger in them, and they'll be moving on to the championship series against the winner between Seattle and Detroit. Yeah, kind of a bittersweet day. I think this is the second longest World Series drought the Yankees have had. If you're not a Yankee fan, you might want to skip forward because this first part of this episode is definitely going to be venting and airing out some grievances that I do have with this current Yankee team, or I guess now it's not current anymore. We don't quite know what's going to happen to those guys, but let's start it off. Good. All right. So Toronto wins last night, taking game 4, 5-2. The second run, I would honestly say it was 5-1 because the second run that they scored in that ninth, what the hell did it matter? And of course, it came from Judge. But let's break it down, right? So obviously we had Cam Schlittler going in. He was going to be starting game 4, and if we won that, I'm assuming we had Fried going on Friday for game 5. I'm assuming that was going to be the route. Blue Jays had a pen game starting off with Varland. I think Varland started the game for them. Yeah, and here's the thing, right? Let's start off with what went wrong, right? Or before we even get to what went wrong, right? So right off the bat, and I guess this feeds into the same thing, right? Why they were still pitching to Vlad, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Like let's look at his postseason numbers because it's outrageous. In the postseason this year, he's batting .529, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs with a 1.6 OPS. Now you tell me, it's the same concept with Judge. Why are you still pitching to him? And I'm not even saying you have to give him the straight 4 every time, but like make him uncomfortable in the box. Every single time he came up to the plate, it felt like, it was almost like the most predictable sequence. It was like, here it is. He gets 0-2, and then we're going to try to give you a little slider, curveball, something tailing to the outside of the plate, and he would just throw his hands. He would extend. And that's something that I just didn't understand. He's going to beat you every time to the outside corner. He's going to get it. He's done it all series. And at least for the last couple months of the season, he was on fire. Why are you he has continually showed you that he will extend the zone on the outer half of the plate, and they continue to throw it out there. In the first inning, so George Springer leads off the game with a double. Okay, whatever. I think, Luke's got out, and then of course Guerrero Jr. Here we go. Gets him 0-2 and then throws him a fastball on the outside or a curveball. I don't remember what it was. I know it was on the outer half, and he extends it down the line. Single. Springer scores. So right off the bat, you're down 1-0. And I'm going to be 100% honest. Watching it, like when that happened, I was like, you know what? They have not learned. This may go south really fast. And that maybe that's pessimistic and that's being dramatic. But to be honest, that's really what I thought. I thought, here we go. And the thing is, you can play with fire twice. You can't play with fire twice, right? You play with fire once. They won game 3 because of Aaron Judge. I didn't have any. I thought that if the Yankees were going to win this game, they were going to have to do it fast and early, and they were going to have to hold that lead early with Schlittler on the mound, going as deep as he could possibly go. And I wasn't it'd be facetious of me to think that we were going to get the same performance out of Schlittler that he gave against Boston. That just was never going to happen. It was not going to be like we were just hoping that he was going to keep us in the game, which he did. But anyway. Moving on, so he gets out of the inning 1-0, right? And it was 1-0 for a while, 1-0 for 2 innings. And then we're giving up no hits. And we got a total of 6 hits this game. Not great. And then Ryan McMahon comes in and hits a solo shot to tie it 1-1 in the third. Right? Okay. No big deal. Fourth goes nothing. The fifth, they get another one. And not a big deal, right? Not a big deal. It's a 2-1 game. It's still very much in our corner. The 6 comes and goes, and then they get another 2. Now, what happened on this, right? But before we go further, I'm going to be honest. The umpire last night was horrible, was bad. I don't know who he was. I guess I could probably find out who the umpires were. Where is this? Yeah, Tony Rendazzo, your ass. That was horrible. What a job behind the plate. Just absolutely horrific. Didn't do us any favors. Didn't by any means like win or lose the game. I mean, but it was bad. He did a really shit job back there last night. Just really bad. I mean, it was so much to the point where like people would throw, if you were throwing on the outer half, up, down, I personally, like sometimes you can kind of be like, that's a strike. That's off. I had no idea. I was like, what? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe the whole game. And it was just really bad. But here, the thing that irritated me the most, and this has been my grievance, and it's been a grievance since last year, right? And I said this in my post today on socials, like, last year, the nightmare fuel was the 5th inning in Game 5. Was the 5th inning of the World Series. The drop pop fly from Judge, the ground ball to Rizzo, and Cole didn't get there. The ground ball to Volpe, he overthrows Jazz at third, and then it just snowballed. That was nightmare fuel. I relived it as a Yankee fan. You relive that moment. You're just like, what we were. And I tell a funny story every time when I think about that game. Is I remember watching it. I was watching with my girlfriend, whatever, and we had ordered food, and I was like, will you go get the food? I don't want to leave this. And it got to the point where I think the Yankees were up 5-0, and I was like, I'll go get the food. I got this. I went, came back, completely different game, and then it unfolded. I was like, what the hell happened? What happened? And it's just like one of those deals. Well, the nightmare that we're going to have this year is, once again, defense comes to bite the Yankees in the ass. So Schlittler goes into the 7th. That's the thing about this guy, guys. He kept us in the game. It was a 2-1 game in the 7th. A 2-1 game. It's achievable. It's achievable the whole way. Ground ball from the 9-hole Jimenez hits it. We got a runner at first. Inning-ending double play. Hits it to Jazz, and Jazz boots it. Schlittler would have come out. It was 7 full. You could have gone to Devin in the 8th, scored some runs, went to Bednar in the 9th, and boom, you've got Game 5. But no. Inning snowballs, and they score another 2, which at that point puts it 4, right? Yeah, it's 4-1. It's just right there. And then and the thing with how the Yankees were in their at-bats the whole game, 5-1 felt like 10-1. Like, I'm being honest. And I think everyone can agree to that. 5-1 felt like 10-1 because of the horrific at-bats we were having. And I get it. I'm not going to downplay bullpen games. Everyone's kind of like, bullpen games, you should take advantage. You should win. Bullpen games are hard because everyone's seeing a different guy and no one finds a groove. Like, normally with a starter, he goes 4, 5, 6. You see him a couple times. You've got film. You've got all this information. It's like, okay, well, in this count, he goes here. And then it's kind of like, you kind of start to find a groove, and then you knock him out, and then here we go. Well, here it was like Schneider was managing very good. He was managing the game great, pulling guys at the right time, putting guys in, playing the matchups. He did a great job. He did a really good job. Hands up, hands down, whatever, to whatever the saying is, to Snyder over there. He did a great job. But yeah, but before we go further, right? So let's finish recapping the game. So they scored 2 in the 7th, 4-1, and then we don't score anything, of course, because why would we? Go into the 8th, they score another one off Williams. I'm sorry, not off Williams, off Duvall, because Duvall went in. Yeah, because Schlittler, Williams to Duvall. Duvall threw 1 out, and then Bednar gave us 1 2/3. But and then again, this is where it gets irritating again. So it's a 4-1 game. It's a 4-1 game. In the bottom of the 8th, they put in. Who was the guy they put in? No. Was it Fisher? It might have been Fisher or Hoffman. I don't quite remember exactly who was pitching at the moment. The Yankees get the bases loaded in the bottom of the 8th. I think it was Fisher. I think Fisher came in. Yeah, because he threw that out. Yeah, because Fisher got 2 outs. Then they put Hoffman in, and then Hoffman closed the game out. Yeah. So Little loads the bases, right? So Little loads them. I'm sorry, Little lets 2 on, and we pinch hit Rice. We want to get that lefty, and then obviously they put in before we put in Rice. I think they had changed to put in Hoffman. So obviously to kill the lefty on lefty, they're going to go Rice. Rice hits righties well. And Hoffman didn't have a feel for the split. He was struggling finding the zone. Rice has a great at bat and walks, loads the bases. And this is just like the approach is what is irritating, because let me tell you something. I coach a middle school team. I don't know if I'm going to be coaching this year, but for the last couple of years, I've coached baseball from 6th to 8th graders. And the first thing that I teach kids, is when you go up to the plate, be patient, wait for the right pitch, right? If we're in a situation, you make him come to you. You wait for the first strike, and you wait for your pitch. You have an approach. You don't just, kids get all jittery, and then that's obviously younger kids. The first thing they want to do is they want to swing right away. The first thing that comes their way, they want to be on the offense. You can't have a successful at bat that way, right? And I know we look at game 1 and game 2. It seems like that was the strategy. Just first pitch, hop on the first pitch. Like, why? See pitches, right? And again, I said it yesterday. That was why the pitch counts were so low for Gausman, for your Savage, because we were getting yourselves out so much faster than if you had sat back and waited and actually had an at bat, rather than just, oh, here we go, I'm just going to swing at everything he throws. Doesn't matter where it is. It feels like that. I say all that to say, so they walk Rice, and here comes Wells. Dude just has showed that he's got no secondary. He's still having a hard time locating the fastball. And the first pitch that Wells sees on the outer half of the plate, a pitch that's high and out, that you can do nothing with. Nothing with that pitch. There is nothing you can do with that pitch. You can't drive it. It's up. You're going to go straight up. I'm sorry. I'm getting irritated because where is the approach? What was that? He just showed you that he's having trouble locating a secondary pitch, and he's having trouble locating a fastball, and you swing at the first pitch that I honestly think might have been called a ball. I don't know what the thought process. So and that was like the last shot. And I never even got my hopes up. I was watching it and I was like, they're going to fuck this up. They're going to screw this up. They're going to find a way to screw this up, because that's what they've done all series. So I sat back. I don't even think I got up. I think I just sat there. Normally when things get heated, I stand up. I don't even think I got up. I think I sat there and I just watched it. And I was like, yep, there it is. First pitch, swings, pops a weak-ass pop fly to left field, because what else were you going to do? So that's how that went. Go into the 9th. We held him for the 9th. Bednar holds him in the 9th. And then Judge, of course, continues his tear. It's a double. I'm sorry. We then ended up putting Jason Dominguez, which we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about that, because that was, so he puts in Jason Dominguez. Dominguez ropes a double. Judge comes in, ropes a double, and then Cody Bellinger just strikes out, to end the game. And there it went, right? So, I have qualms. First, I'm going to say this isn't on Boone. And I think the more that and I think I've been on Twitter arguing with people all day, fire Boone, fire Cashman. I think Cashman has more to do with a lot of these decisions than Boone does. And I think that Cashman pushes the buttons on the analytics department, who then whisper in Aaron Boone's ear, do this, do this, do this. I think his hands are tied. So no, I don't think it's on Boone. And then at the same time, there's a lot of stuff where, yes, there's certain, and again, the whole thing with the analytics and Cashman calling it, I still think that's still subpar. I think that's like maybe it had a little bit to do with it. But the problem with the New York Yankees is not with Aaron Boone. I don't think it's with Cashman, because on paper, this is a strong team. I know A-Rod went on the post-game show last night and said it was a poorly constructed roster, which I think it was, from the sense of they didn't have a real shortstop. I think Anthony Volpe should not have been the shortstop half the year. I don't know what the obsession is with him, if they were just so invested that they were going to have to get as much as they could out of him. He led the league in errors. He didn't hit the ball well. I think he had 13 strikeouts in the ALDS. He was like 1 for 14 or some shit with all strikeouts. It was pretty much to the point where if Volpe came up to the plate, it was a strikeout. I mean, he's over there swinging 3 bats. What? And then tries to bunt. What? I don't know what. I mean, I guess you're in crisis mode. You're trying to figure something out, but that was awful. And why they let him bat 3 times that game, beyond me. When you had Dominguez, Grisham hitting in the leadoff, who's been an automatic out for the last 4 games. I don't get it. He's 1 for something. All of those guys were 1 for whatever. This, Grisham, 0 for 5. Judge, 2 for 4, of course. Bellinger, 0 for 5. Stanton, 1 for 2 with 2 walks. Chisholm, 0 for 3 with a walk. Goldschmidt, 0 for 1 with a walk. Bryce got the walk. Wells, 0 for 4. I mean, these batting averages in the postseason are horrific. Volpe batting a .192. McMahon batting .286. Okay, McMahon was the only one that showed up to the plate, and he showed up to play defense. I felt like the effort that he gives is the Yankees don't deserve it. Rosario came in and got a hit as well. But, all these guys failed to show up in the postseason. Let's see this. Grisham in the 2025 postseason, a .138. Judge was batting .500 in the postseason. Insane. But anyway, so they didn't hit at all weekend. Obviously, that was in game 1, game 2, game 3. Judge showed up, and there was a lot of good baseball in game 3, and then game 4, they didn't show up again. But again, the inability to hit and play baseball, it almost seems like, and I heard D-Row on MLB Central this morning talking about the idea of who these guys are. There's a lot of big names on this roster. And I think to a certain extent, and I think that's how Cashman built the team, right? Bellinger, Judge, Stanton, Goldschmidt, where I just saw another one. I guess Chisholm. All these guys are like main characters, right? They're all the main guy. Everyone wants to be a hero all the time, and no one wants to play ball. And you look at the teams that are winning the most. You look at the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays, yes, you hit home runs, but the thing about hitting home runs is that they're accidents. You wait for the mistake and you capitalize on the mistake. Other than that, you should be just trying to get a hit, get on base. Everyone on this lineup sometimes seems like they're chasing the long ball, and that's why this has happened. That's why we are where we are. And I think that, if you look at teams like Milwaukee, who are just hitting, they're hitting the ball, they're playing baseball, they're playing small ball, they're playing defense. All the basic components of being a good baseball team, the Yankees abandon. And that's why they lose. It's not winning baseball. They pound bad pitching. They pound bad teams. They did it all year. But we saw when they played the Blue Jays, when they played the Red Sox, when they played the Astros, when they played good fundamental teams, they struggled. So, of course, when you come into a series like this, they're going to struggle. And they did. And I don't care how many times Judge is going to do it. You can't do it with one person. And I think all those components, bad defense, not timely hitting, bad pitching, bad bullpen, all of it is a recipe for disaster, as we've seen. So that kind of wraps up the season. And I think that it's a shame because they are a talented team. On paper, this should be the best team in baseball all the way through. But again, hats off to Toronto. They didn't get out. Springer played great. He's batting a .176. He struggled in the postseason, but he's been playing great. Lucas playing great. Guerrero he's on Judge's level right now. 529, 1.6. Charger playing well. He just somehow finds a way. These guys, and that's right. They're right. What I just said, they find a way. And then obviously Ernie Clement he's on a tear, batting .643 in the postseason. It's crazy. They're just not tough outs. I see that whoever gets them, I think that watching, and I've only watched a minimal amount of Seattle, Detroit, I think that the Blue Jays have a really good shot. If they play this brand of baseball, they have a shot to go to the World Series. Do I think that they can hang with the Phillies or the Brewers or the Dodgers? Honestly, I don't see how the Dodgers don't make it to the World Series. I think it's going to be, I'm rooting for the Phillies, but a tough road for them. They got game 4 tonight, I think in literally about 15 minutes. So that's going to be interesting. But it's going to be tough. But again, Blue Jays played well. They pitched well. They played well. There's a winning recipe. Now, kind of moving away from the game, as bad as that was, there's a lot of offseason banter, right? I think Devin Williams is a free agent. Trent Grisham is a free agent. Let me see if I can find the free agents. I saw a thing about it earlier, but I don't want to miss anybody. I want to donate to you, man. I just want to see the free agents. That's all I'm here for. Cody Bellinger, Trent Grisham, Devin Williams, Paul Goldschmidt, Luke Weaver, Tim Hill. But I think Tim Hill has a club option. So the big one out of all those guys, I don't see, I'm a Devin Williams fan. I was a Devin Williams fan before he was a Yankee. I don't think that he was happy in New York, and I think that he struggled a lot. And I think that, and again, I think that playing in New York puts a microscope, puts a target on your back, and I think that the fans can be hostile. The fans, it's a fandom over there in New York, right? It's a different realm. Some guys can do it, some guys can't. And Devin, though he pitched well towards the latter half of the year, he showed flashes of greatness. Towards the end of the year, I just think that he really didn't. He didn't seem happy. And of course, obviously, you're not pitching well. You're not going to be happy, but you're not pitching well. The fans are on your ass. You're getting booed. I just think that I don't see how he comes back, even if I just don't see a fit there. Doesn't seem like it's going to happen. Grisham, I think, is going to walk. Grisham came in and didn't do anything all year. I mean, in all year in his career, he was kind of a Padres guy. He was a backup guy, and then he came to New York, and he was a backup guy. And then this year, he really showed up. Man, he played really well, just not in the postseason. But I think he's another guy that they're going to let walk, and they're not gonna go after him. Again, Williams is going to walk. Goldschmidt, they'll probably let him go. Luke Weaver, they may give him a 1 year, but other than that, I think he might go. And then Tim Hill, definitely they have to give a club option, and then Ahmed Rosario maybe, and then Loizaga I think also has a club option. They may bring him back. I don't know though. And then Yarborough, Slater can go. All these guys, I think the only one, and this is kind of something I was thinking about already, thinking about it last night, thinking about today. Bellinger is one that they have to bring back. I think you let Grisham go. I think it's time, especially after what you saw last night, that Dominguez, who got one at bat, was locked in, hit a double. I think that it's time that they invest some coaching, that they invest some time in Jason Dominguez and give him a shot. I think it's really time. He played it quite a bit. His outfield was rough, but he can swing it. He's fast. He's kind of a bonehead sometimes on the bases, but these are all things that you can coach up. And I think it's time they invest the time and the energy into him and have him do it. I think they go pay for Weaver. I mean, I think they pay for Bellinger, and there's no doubt Bellinger probably wants to come back. He had a great time. He played really well. That's for sure. I know there's a lot of rumors about Kyle Tucker, and fans want Kyle Tucker. You don't need Kyle Tucker. You get Belly back, and you have Judge in right, Belly in center, and then you put Dominguez in right. I think that's how we go. And then you have some maybe platoon guys that can come in off the bench on off days. I think that's how you run it. But the biggest hole, and this is one thing that I think we need to talk about, obviously, is first base, but you have Rice. I think the biggest takeaways that the Yankees need are going to be a real catcher, because Wells showed that he had a really bad year, and I don't know that he's going to be the starter. I think in the offseason they may go after a catcher, which makes me think they probably should have held on to Trevino. That's just personal preference. I think they should have held on to Trevino a little bit longer. I think they go after a catcher. Because sure, Rice can do it here and there, but you're going to really want him to focus on first base unless they go after Pete Alonso, which would be hilarious. But I'm a Pete Alonso fan. I think he'd fit good in pinstripes. And then they go after a shortstop. A lot of people are calling for Bo Bichette, maybe. But I think that's the biggest priority, is that Volpe can't do it. I think they had Caballero, but Caballero, again, I don't feel comfortable with him every day. So I think that they're going to have to, I think a big piece is they're going to go after a shortstop in the offseason in the winter. I think that's going to be a priority. But again, some positive aspects, some good things to look forward to if you're a Yankee fan, is the pitching rotation. And then you got a lot of guys returning. You're going to have McMahon coming back. You're going to probably have Jazz coming back. I mean, there's a lot of good pieces, just a lot of little fundamental things they need to improve on. But the pitching rotation by far, and I don't care who you are. I don't care if you hate the Yankees with a burning passion. Garrett Cole, Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, Cam Schlittler, Will Warren maybe, or Luis Hill in that last spot, or maybe they go get a fourth, fifth starter, a Zach Gallen or something. I don't know. But that rotation, those four, Garrett Cole, Cam Schlittler, Carlos Rodon, and Max Fried should scare you as if you're an opponent, and should excite you if you're a Yankee fan. I don't care who you are. That's going to be something to reckon with. And that's a rotation that you can take and do and go deep again. Like I'm sad that baseball's over for the Yankees, but this is going to be insane. That is a rotation if I've ever seen one. Positive things. But moving on, enough of the Yankees. So if you fast forward, this is the point, right? We're going to talk about the Phillies. Now, as long as the Yankees are not in, I'm looking at all the teams. Obviously, the Brewers are the underdog. You want the Brewers to go, but I'm really in deep down, I've said it a lot, I want Bryce Harper to get a ring. I think Bryce Harper deserves it. He's been there. He's worked hard. He's been the company guy. He's been there every day. He's been there since they started really revamping the Phillies. I think it's time for Bryce to get his ring. I think it's going to be really tough. They came and took him. So yesterday I did watch a good chunk of the game. I was nervous just because Yamamoto had a hell of a year. He's dirty. He's nasty. And the Phillies didn't let up, man. They jumped on him quick. Kyle Schwarber finally woke up, which is something that we've all kind of been waiting for. Just he's been over, hasn't done a whole lot. And I think it's great that he finally woke up. And with 2 bombs, nonetheless. One that they said 488, but I watched it. That thing went 500 plus. That thing was gone. That was a absolute mammo. Everybody kind of got in on it. Turner did really well. Harper hit the ball well. Let's look at kind of the box score because I kind of want to see it. I don't know why I'm just talking off of straight memory. I'm not even pulling facts right now because it excited me. Let's see what we got here. He's been struggling apparently. What a Tony 0 for 5, batting $174 in the postseason. So maybe they've got a key to him. But yeah, 3 hits for Turner, 2 hits for Schwarber, 2 hits for Harper, 2 hits for Bohm, 2 hits for Real Muto, 1 for Stott, bro. Have a night. Yeah, 12 hits, bro. Come on. 7 RBIs, yeah. So they put it on him. They put it on him pretty good. The Dodgers had a tough night. 0 for Ohtani, bets 2 for 5. 0 for Teoscar, 0 for Freddie, 1 for 4 Will Smith, 1 for 2 with 2 walks for Kike, 2 for 4 for Muncy, 0 for 2 for Pajes. They ended up putting Rojas in there. He went 0 for 1. Dean 0 for 0. I don't think he got in that bat and went to center field. And Dalton Rushing went in there 0 for 1. Tommy Edman 2 for 4. So not good. Yamamoto 4 innings, 6 hit, 3 runs, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, and a bomb. So yeah, and then they ended up going to Banda, Dreyer, and then Kershaw and Treinen. So the cool thing about the pitching, right? And I knew I'm an Aaron Nola fan. I've always liked Aaron Nola back when he was in his prime. I know he's really struggled this year, injuries, and then just not really being the Aaron Nola that we saw a couple years back. I thought that they were riding with Nola. I knew there was a lot of people that were upset that I personally thought, if this is a do or die game, which it was an elimination game for them, that they should have gone with Suarez. Sorry, I'm going to put the game on here. It just started. I thought they should have gone with Suarez, Ranger Suarez, who has pitched really well. But they wanted to ride with Nola. And the funny thing was that they kept this under wraps. I thought the whole time they're riding Nola as a starter, and they didn't. They rode with him for 2 innings, and apparently the team didn't even know that. They were just as shocked that he only threw 2 innings. They were kind of like, and he threw really well. Like, he did good. He got himself in a pickle and then got himself out of it in a second. Only gave up 1 hit, 3 strikeouts. Like, I was like, that's the Nola that we saw years prior. And I was just kind of like, wow, they're going to pull him, and they put Suarez in. He pitched 5, so it's kind of almost like an opening situation, I guess, to maybe save him, to maybe use him out of the bullpen. I don't know how many pitches he threw. I don't know if I can find that, but okay. I guess he threw 52. That's kind of a lot. He probably won't be available tonight, but if they go to Game 5, maybe he's available Game 5 out the bullpen, and it's only 50 pitches, so maybe. But go to Suarez. Suarez gives it the bomb. The first pitch he sees, he gets a bomb hit off of him. Who hit it? I don't know. I don't remember who hit it. Somebody hit a home run off of him. Yeah, so they hit a home run first pitch, and then he settled in nicely. Only 5 hits, 1 earned run. Then they put in a Ryan Keckering to Taiwan Walker, and then they ended up closing it with Banks. But here's the thing, and I had a couple, obviously the people that were talking mess about the Yankees, right? I've had a lot of conversations today. But the big one that I think I've got a lot of friends that are just getting into baseball that are kind of like into it, and obviously baseball's a growing thing. A lot of people are getting into it now, but I had a friend that was like, they left Kershaw out to dry. They did that to my guy Kershaw, right? But here's the thing, guys. And if you watch baseball and you've been following Kershaw for a long time, this is not new. Kershaw has always struggled in the postseason, even in his greatest years, when he's had great years. And even this year, he's been really good. This year alone, he's got a 3.36 ERA. He's thrown 100 innings, 84 strikeouts, career 2.53. So he is good. Kershaw is good. Hall of Fame all the way. Been a Dodger his whole career, which is really awesome. You don't see that a lot anymore. But again, like he has always struggled in the postseason. He always has, and that's been a big issue for him. And again, last night he has an 18, only threw 2 innings, but he got lit up. He got hit hard. 2 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned, 3 walks, 2 bombs, one from Real Muto, and then hit Schwarber's second one that night. But look at this. Career postseason. He's 13-13. He's played in 40 postseason games. His ERA is a 4.63. Again, not good. And that's kind of been his thing. It's like your Kershaw in the postseason. He just never shows up for the postseason. He's almost been like one of those guys who's just kind of cursed. Even last year, they didn't use him at all last year. In 2020, he got lit up when they won the World Series. Like he just doesn't have it in the postseason. So I want to kind of get that narrative out there to let guys know, like, hey, this is not new. This is, you kind of expect it almost, right? That's just what Kershaw does in the postseason. It's sad because he has such a legendary career, but then when the lights come on in October, he just doesn't have it. It's kind of weird. But yeah, so obviously right now, like I just said, these guys just started. Glasnow just struck out Trey Turner. That was awful. Glasnow's nasty. Can't even say that. I think they used Glasnow out of the pen in game 1 or 2. He's getting the start tonight. Curious to know how far he goes. Yeah, that was a nasty swing by Trey Turner. Yikes. Anyway, so moving on. Do I think that they can do it? These powder blue Phillies, I think they can. I think they can do it if they play like they did last night. If these guys come in, they swing it right. They have some good performances. I know they got Christopher Sanchez on the mound. So this is the night, man. They got this. I think they can do it. I think they can force a game 5. Brewers versus Cubs. That one happened yesterday as well. Who started that game? Because the whole thing with that one is that the starter, I think it was Priester for Milwaukee, did make it out of the first. He ran into some trouble, and the Cubs did not miss. Yeah, it was Priester. Did make it out of the first, loaded the bases at one point with 1 out. Carl Armstrong scored some runs in the first. Yeah, they scored 4 in the first, and then after that, Milwaukee tried to claw back. And the funny thing was, like, that's all the Cubs scored was that first inning. It was the 4 in the first, and then Milwaukee had obviously jumped on them. In the first inning, it was 1-0. Then they scored 4. Then in the 4th, they scored another one. They scratched one off, so then it was 4-2. Then in the 7th, it was 3-4, and then they held on, man. I really just – Milwaukee's a tough team. Milwaukee's a really good team. They're a good ball club. They're very similar, in my opinion, to the Jays in the sense that they don't strike out a lot. They play an old-school brand of baseball. They're always just trying to hit. They run into pitches, yes, but they're just playing good, fundamental baseball, and it's refreshing to see. And especially with them, like they just have a lot of guys that are just – it's just the right moment at the right time, I think. Obviously have some star power, but they're going to be a tough team to really get past, and it's going to be interesting tonight for the Cubs. It's going to be real interesting tonight for the Cubs. I don't know if the Cubs can do it again. It's going to be interesting. Look, Carl Schwarber, look at this. Double. Homeboy woke up. I'm a Schwarber fan. I think he's going to get paid this offseason. I'm sure Philly makes an offer, but he's going to get paid. But yeah, the Brewers, they just play a good, refreshing game of baseball. It's fundamental. It's just doing things right, and it's why they're winning so many ball games. And it's what makes them dangerous. They don't strike out. They put the ball in play, and they put the pressure on the defense and put the pressure on pitchers to make pitches, and they punish mistakes. And the Cubs, too. The Cubs are no slouch. The Cubs, like Michael Busch, who's on a tear, batting 300 with a 1 dot right now in the postseason. You got Nico Horner, 391. Kyle Tucker, who's had his struggles, so I'm still not fully trusting him with a lot. He's batting 250, 598, so still struggling. Dukie's struggling a little bit. Ian Happ is struggling a lot. Carl Armstrong, who's also struggling quite a bit. Swanson, who's known for his defense, we're not going to even. And then obviously Matt Shaw, who's still batting 0. So these guys got to really come into it, man. They got the channel whatever they had last night. I'm not sure who they have on the bump tonight. Let me see here. What the hell's today? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Yeah, okay, that was right. Ooh, yeah, so they got Boyd, who got lit up that first game real bad. Didn't make it out of the first. I know a lot of guys are worried. He looked gassed towards the end of the season, had some shaky starts towards the end, and obviously didn't make it out of the first. I think him and Freddie are technically both going on short rest. It's going to be interesting. I don't know how long they both last. Obviously, if you're going to put who's on top, who I mean, Freddie Peralta's nasty, man. He's their ace. He's the guy. He's their opening day starter. He's the number one. I know he's on short rest. But he's got that electric fastball, and Matt Boyd's going to he's a crafty guy. So he's got to be pinpointing. He wasn't pinpointing game one. If Boyd is pinpointing, he can do some damage to you. And I think that he's going to redeem himself. I'm sure he can't wait to get on the mound and show these guys what he can do, especially in the postseason. So it's going to be another good game. This is a late one. I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch this one. It's a late one, but we're going to see. And then last on the list, Seattle, Detroit, who forced a game 5. Pull up my notes here. Nasty. Yeah, so Detroit poured it on. Detroit poured it on. Obviously, close game. I watched was a little bit of it before because they came on before the Yankees. So I watched a good chunk of it. Ooh, we got first and third. Bohm with the walk. Glasnow's pissed. It was a ball, buddy. That was not a strike. So they started Bryce Miller, who's dealt with some injuries this year. Would have been a strike. He went, what did he go? Let me see. So Bryce went 4 1/3. I saw he was pitching really well. I turned it off before they took him out. I think I turned it off in the 5th, like right at the start of the 5th. And I was kind of shocked when I saw that they took him out of the game because he was pitching really good. 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 strikeouts. He is holding them. At that point, when he came out, it was a 3-0 game. Seattle on top, and then pull him. Those runs score. Now it's a 3-3 game. And then the 6th inning, they gave up the 4th spot, and then they tacked on one pretty much every inning after that. So I think maybe they pulled Miller a little bit too early, and that bullpen just didn't show up, right? You got Bizzardo, who gave up 4 hits, 3 runs. Vargas, 2 hits, 2 runs. And then Jackson, who had a clean slate. But after that, I mean, Spear, Bizzardo, and Vargas did not show up. So I think personally this is the most evenly matched series of all of them. A game 5, obviously, I think if Philly can force a game 5, it'll be interesting. But the Dodgers are the Dodgers, man. You can't going against them is tough. Going against them is tough, and going 0-2 in a hole, especially losing 2 in Philly, is tough. But I think that this is one of the more evenly matched things, and I think that they're going to have Tarek Skubal on the bump for game 5. Yeah, they're going to have Skubal out there. But again, the Mariners have shown that they're not scared of Tarek Skubal. They beat him already once, and Jorge Polanco has his number. 2 home runs that game off of Skubal. So again, you're bringing Skubal, but at the same time, you're going against a team who could give a shit less that you're throwing a Cy Young contender, right? So I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting. Obviously, no starter announced yet for the Mariners. No Woo. So it'll be tough, man. Win or go home. It's going to be interesting. So again, guys, we got a lot of great baseball still happening. We're still in the DS. Obviously, Toronto Blue Jays are now awaiting the winner of the Tigers and the Mariners. That game happening tomorrow. Right now, as we speak, we're watching the Phillies and the Dodgers, who the Phillies are once again trying to stave off elimination. Tyler Glasnow on the mound, Sanchez on the mound for Philly. And then the Brewers and Cubs tonight, Matt Boyd versus Freddie Peralta, the 2 guys, man. They're going after it. So, again, a lot of great baseball, a lot of interesting things happening. If you're a Yankee fan, I feel your pain. Sad, but a lot of good things happening in 2026, I think. But, yeah, guys, thank you so much for listening. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple, be sure to rate the podcast. If it lets you comment, it should. Throw some comments on there, man. It helps with the algorithm. And rate us. It really helps a lot. Be sure to follow, like, subscribe, all the shit. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and on YouTube. That's where we're at, man. I got content on all 3 of those streams pouring out. So be sure to follow. If you want to argue with me. Tell me I'm an idiot. I don't care. Let's talk ball, man. But yeah, guys. So we should have another episode. I'm hoping to do one on Saturday. If not, I'll do one on Sunday, kind of recapping everything as we go into the championship series. But yeah, it's about to get interesting, guys. A lot of great matchups coming up. Once again, guys, thank you so much for listening, and we will catch you guys in the next episode.